Feel like I'm at the tippy top of my game, looking down at the rafters. I had to son these boys, can't leave them bastards. A lot of dudes, just some undercover actors. I don't fall for it.
So, if you've been watching the news, paying any attention to social media right now, what do you think of property investment? Doesn't seem the best thing right now, does it? Kind of a little bit under attack. And that's because of a number of different factors that's all sort of coming in at one stage. Whether that's what Labour's doing to the economy right now, whether it's Renters' Right Bill, rising interest rates, material price rising. There's a lot of things happening right now. And what this has meant is that a number of landlords have left. Let's look at some of the statistics around what's happening with the landlords, particularly the rental market. So 44% of landlords have sold at least one property this year, but a significant minority, 14%, have taken 5 or more properties off the rental market. And if you actually look at further in statistics, the good Lord statement here is 4 out of 5 landlords are actively looking to reduce their portfolio size, given some of the issues we've talked about before, particularly the Renters' Right Bill and what Labour's doing to the economy right now. Looking at all this here, you're probably wondering, is property still a good investment? I actively believe it is, and it's something, while others are pulling out and seeing issues, I'm seeing opportunities. Let's just look at it from the basic economics. Demand and supply, everyone understands that concept. Demand for rental is always going to be there. Demand, particularly for the type of rental I do, which is your BRR, buy to let, your very vanilla, boring buy to let, but it's always in demand. That's always going to be there. So you've got this constant rate of demand, or even ever increasing demand, as house prices rise and people's wages aren't unfortunately keeping up. But if you've got reduced supply, which we've seen from the number of landlords looking to leave the market, that means property investment in a lot of ways becomes more interesting. But how am I going about it that makes me different to a number of these landlords and which you can do it? Well, first and foremost, I don't look at myself as a landlord. I think landlords are very much old age. They're the ones you associate with the properties that are in a bit of disrepair. You've got mold, maybe they're all sort of painted magnolia. I think everyone knows what we're talking about. But really, what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to create a business around this here. I'm going to have a portfolio of a number of really high-end, really good and well-priced properties, which makes this house the tenant's home, and that's really important. That's one of the big differences. I'll have systems in place, I'll have agents in place, I'll have a number of different ways of where I'm not just treating this as sort of a little bit of a side hustle or some sort of way to earn money on the side. This is going to be an actual business. So one of the things you'll also hear, and this is really, really true, that instead of trying to time the market, it's all about timing the market. So what do I actually mean by time in the market over timing the market? So if we're to take 2012 to 2022 as just your date range, coming out the post great financial crash, a lot of people were sort of scared of the market, really understandably. But this is where this phrase really shows its worth. If you invested in 2012 and looking at that 10 years, you had £100,000 of capital gains, and then you also would have a decade of rent. Now, let's look at the COVID period. Even if you invested in then, you still would have had £50,000 of capital gains. When you're looking at property investment, there's always going to be issues. There's always issues going on in the world and always reasons not to do it. Really, the fundamentals always apply in property. So we've seen some of the things there that's been major shocks to the world coming out of the great financial crash, COVID. A lot of people would argue that these are once in a generation, once in a lifetime things that can happen from an investor's point of view. And someone who's looking to build a business around this, what am I seeing? What am I seeing is something actually that's quite simple. Just play the long game and get your fundamentals right. Property is a great investment over the long term. This has been shown by just that there. You've seen what's happened, the gains you can make and the benefits to it. But the fundamentals, like I said, remain the same. Demand and supply, and keeping your property in good condition and buying it at a good price over the long term will win. So despite all the noise that's going on and everything you're hearing, do I still think property is a great investment to make? Quite clearly. You just have to play it for the long term. So this is the type of video we like. or you're interested in me talking about anything else, please feel free to leave a comment, give us a like as well, and subscribe. And if you're interested in possibly working with me either on a one-on-one basis, feel free to contact me over social media and I'll be more than happy to help. But until next time guys, really appreciate you watching. Cheers, thank you, bye.